What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video, and in this video we're going to be doing a revised character breakdown for Mastodon Sentry. Similar to my other character breakdowns, we're going to be running through the move list, doing some combos, and then I'm going to talk about a game plan for Mastodon Sentry. So let's go ahead and get started. So, if you guys like what you see in this video, please consider checking out my social media links in the description box. You can follow me on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/ParkerLad88. You can follow me on Twitter at ParkerLad2, and consider joining the Whoosh Clan if you have Discord. With your entry into the Whoosh Clan will grow ever stronger. Once again, all that'll be in the description box. Let's go ahead and get started with talking about Mastodon Sentry and his mobility. When it comes to mobility, I think Mastodon Sentry is very average compared to the rest of the cast. He's not too slow, he's not too fast. His forward dash, as you can see here, is pretty quick on the startup, doesn't cover like a whole lot of range, but once again, it's pretty quick on startup. It's not going to be like something super long. Backdash is the same, average speed, not too slow of startup. His wave dash, not probably the movement choice you're going to be using too much with him. When it comes to movement, his attack dash is plenty the way to go. You can tap it rhythmically at a pretty decent pace, and he'll get across the screen pretty quickly, as you can see right here. Jumps are pretty average, I think, as well. He's not too floaty, he's not too shallow, which I think is also corroborated with his dash jump. His dash jump is not too shallow, but it's not, you know, you're not going to be doing like full screen jump-ins with Mastodon Sentry to hit somebody, like reacting to a projectile or something like that. So movement options across the board, I think, are very average, once again, for Mastodon Sentry. Moving into normal-based attacks, we have Standing Light, Crouching Light, Standing Medium, Crouching Medium, Standing Heavy, and then we have Crouching Heavy, which is this base level gunshot. Now, for command normals, we have Back with Medium. That gives you Mastodon Sentry's launcher. Moving into aerial buttons, we have Air Light. This is going to be your cross-up as well. Oh, hold on. There you go. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst cross-up either. We have Air Medium. Decent air-to-air button. I don't use this very much as a jump-in, but you can, as you can see there. And then we have Air Heavy, which is this aerial gunshot, very similar to his base level gunshot. Now, when it comes to normals, you're going to be using the most of Mastodon Sentry. It's going to be your Crouching Heavy, Standing Heavy, Air Light, and Air Heavy. Let's talk a little bit about these. As far as his grounded buttons go, Crouching Heavy, Standing Heavy are going to be the main ones you're going to be using. Crouching Heavy, it's pretty obvious. It's how you get his projectile game started. You're going to be using this a lot. But let's talk about his overhead a little bit more. Mastodon Sentry is very interesting as far as the way his overhead works. It is a little slow on startup, but one trade-off for that is that this character, he probably is the only character that actually has a safe overhead in this game. Because as you can see, you can cancel it into other things. You can cancel it into bombs, you can cancel it into gunshots, and you can cancel it into his Crouching Heavy, which allows you to go into a string, as you can see. So this means that Mastodon Sentry can basically pressure you pretty well with his overhead. And then, of course, the other thing that you have access to when it comes to overheads is unblockables. Mastodon Sentry can set up unblockables with the nature of how much slower his overhead is. It's probably a little bit more forgiving. It's an easier character to get started with, like trying to practice unblockable setups and whatnot. So Mastodon Sentry's overhead is, I think, pretty good overall. Air Light, I feel like Air Light, as far as like, you know, trying to go in on your opponent, it's really the only button that you really need. It's your cross-up, it's your jump-in, it's a good air-to-air button just because of the nature of how fast light buttons are. And then, of course, in the same way of his Crouching Heavy, we have Air Heavy. This is going to be another means of you controlling the screen from the air, as you can see. And that does it for all of Mastodon Sentry's normal-based attacks. Alright, let's move into Throw. As you can see, Mastodon Sentry can combo from his forward throw, back throw. As you can see here, Mastodon Sentry, he's actually not able to combo from his back throw. There's no follow-up I can do for this, but it always surprises me how much damage this throw actually does. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's talk about EX. Now, Mastodon Sentry actually has two EXs. He has his base level EX, and then of course he has his EX gunshot. His EX gunshot is very important in his combo structure, and you're going to be using this to confirm combos a whole lot, because this allows him actually to get full screen conversions. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about Mastodon Sentry's Super. Now, you might be asking yourself, what exactly does Mastodon Sentry's super actually do? Well, Mastodon Sentry's super, if Jason can help me out here, is a counter super. On my mark. As you can see right there, if you hit somebody with it, you get a nice chunk of damage at it. Now, while Mastodon Sentry is glowing blue in this form, the entirety of this super, if you touch him at all, he will go into it. So you don't have to be precise with this at all. You usually want to, because as with most counters, if your opponent sees you do it, they can just throw you out of it and you can be easy pickings. Now, this super does do a nice chunk of damage, but you can also get combos from it if you are actually close enough to the corner. This unfortunately makes this super a lot more situational than like other counters, and the fact that you have to invest 2 bars in it does make this one of Mastodon Sentry's weaker traits. But in situations where you are in the corner, you can actually get combos off it. Let's go ahead and move into Mastodon Sentry's special moves. And we're going to start, of course, with his most important special move where his entire game plan gets started, and that is going to be his neutral special, his gunshot. Neutral special will do this 1 gunshot, as you can see here, but you can actually do this gunshot up to 3 times. Now, after you do the 3rd gunshot, Mastodon Sentry will go into this reload animation, which leaves him very, very vulnerable. So you want to make sure that you're exploring some other options while you're doing this, because if your opponent blocks all of these gunshots, then they can just run up to you and they can just punish you for doing these. Make sure you're mixing in your other options, which we'll actually talk about right now. First of all, let's move into forward special, his landmine. One of his next most important special moves, you can place this landmine right at your feet by pressing forward and special. Or if you hold forward and special, then he'll chuck it across the screen. Now, this is also important in Mastodon Sentry's combo structure, because it actually is an OTG as well, as you can see there. Now, his other option is going to be his back gunshot. If you press back with special, he'll fire this gunshot up in the air. This is really nice to clear the skies, if you will. You can catch people jumping in on you with this, and you can confirm it into EX. Like this for nice combos, which we will talk about later. So you kind of want to mix all these options up with your neutral gunshots. You're going to be doing 1-2 mine, 1-2 back special. And another thing that I really like about the back special, in addition to covering the skies, it's also a way to allow you to move. As opposed to back dashing all the time, sometimes I just like to use the back gunshot so that I can cover the skies and move backwards all at the same time. So it's an extra mobility tool in that regard as well. Let's move into Mastodon Sentry's last special move, and that is going to be his aerial gunshot. His aerial gunshot, he will fire a shot straight down at the ground at this very aggressive angle. It's a really nice way to put pressure on your opponent from a distance where they can't anti-air you, and then when you get close to them, you can start using buttons, your overhead, or you can go for throw as well and get combos off of all those things. All these things, even though Mastodon Sentry is a stubby button character, give him a great control of the screen. And when you mix that up with his other gunshots, he can be kind of a nightmare to deal with, especially behind the right assists. And that'll do it for all of Mastodon Sentry's special moves. Alright, let's start moving into combos, starting with auto combo number 1 with lights, auto combo number 2 with mediums, and auto combo number 3 with heavies. So if we're talking about easy combos that we can do a simple combo of heavy auto combo. We can then whiff the swap strike, which we do with down, special, and then one of the assist buttons. We can then dash up, do the first 2 hits of heavy auto combo again, and then go into EX. Altogether, that should look something a little bit like this. This does work outside the corner as well. It just requires a little bit of a stagger of the second heavy auto combo. You stagger the first 2 hits, and then wait for just a smidgen, and then go for the EX. Nice little stagger, and then you can get it. So I think that's a nice starter combo to get you started with. The most important thing you have to get used to is just doing the swap strike part, which is just down, special, and then one of the assist buttons, getting used to that whiffing, and yes, you will have enough time to run over, do another heavy auto combo, 1, 2, and then go for the EX. So when it comes to learning how to combo with Mastodon Sentry, there are a couple of things we definitely need to know how to combo from. Main thing, EX gunshot. We'll learn how to combo from back gunshot. And we'll learn how to combo from throw. And maybe a few other ones sprinkled in there as well. As per normal now, I'll be doing the fully completed combos first with number notation for those of you who are more experienced in the game and just want to see what the combo looks like and what the inputs are. And after that, we will break down the combos for those of you who like my normal combo teaching structure, and we'll walk through the parts to practice. So let's go ahead and get started with Mastodon Sentry's very first bread and butter combo. Alright, let's go ahead and start breaking down this combo. So as you saw, we started with a air light into crouching light, crouching medium, and then we did heavy auto combo from crouching heavy. This is where the combo starts, and this is where the first kind of difficult part of this combo comes into play. Because after you do heavy auto combo, you will then chuck far mine by holding the forward special button. After this, you will then do crouching heavy, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, and then you will stagger an EX gunshot. Now the timing for this is very interesting compared to a lot of other combos across fighting games in general, but for this feels very memorization based. You just have to memorize when you actually do your crouching heavy after you chuck mine, because most combos you see the hit, and then when you see the hit, you react, and then you can do the rest of the combo. But this doesn't quite work that way. You kind of want the first gunshot that you do with crouching heavy to hit very shortly after you do the mine, in order for the rest of the gunshots in order to hit, with the opponent being on the other side of the screen. And then on top of that, you have to stagger the EX afterwards, because if you just go gun EX, it's going to whiff. So you go gun, wait for a second, and then EX. And if you're able to do all of that, it kind of looks like this. So as soon as Mastodon Sentry recovers from his bomb, you want to go into your low gunshot. It's almost going to be simultaneous. So that's the first part that you want to practice. Now, after you do EX gunshot, you will then run up, and then you will do your standing heavy. This will OTG, and then you will go into launcher. Now, here's where the second kind of difficult part of the combo comes into play, and I will tell you why. You will do launcher, staggered air light medium. You want to do light, or you want to do the medium on the way down. You don't want all the hits of the medium to hit, because it'll spin them out of the combo. You only want the first couple to hit, right? So you kind of want it with this timing, and you want to be about that high. Because after you do that, you'll jump back up again, and you'll do air light into air special into air heavy. And the reason why you want to do it this quickly is because you need the height, because as soon as you land back on the ground, you'll do another launcher. This is the part that you'll want to practice a lot to get the feel, because if you do it too late, obviously they'll drop out. But you really need that extra height from your first launcher so you can get the second launcher. After you do the second launcher, you'll do another air light into air special, air heavy. Just like that. So once again, from the OTG, you'll have something that looks like this. Now, after we do that part, we will then do standing medium, crouching heavy. We'll go into the first 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo. So, oh, sorry. We'll do that, and then we'll do 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, and then we'll do forward special. We will then do another standing medium, crouching heavy, first 2 hits of heavy auto combo, just like that. We'll then do 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, and then we'll go into EX gunshot again, which will put them in a hard knockdown state, and then we will do another EX. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that part really quick. We're going to go ahead and go in the corner here for this. So we got... Now, after you do your first 2 gunshots of that second rep, you want to do a slight stagger. So you want to go like... Slight stagger, just like that, because if you do it all together, they'll be too high for the EX gunshot and it'll whiff. And then once he recovers, you just go into EX. So, taking it from launcher once again. And you should have something that looks like that. So, once again, things to practice for this combo. The first thing you'll want to practice is the timing after you do your far bomb to do your crouching heavy, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, stagger into EX gunshot. You will do this after the heavy auto combo into the mine. Just like that. You will then want to practice doing your launcher and getting the height of your first air light medium. You want them to be about that high, so you can get that second launcher. And then, of course, the last part that you will practice is after they land back to the ground, you'll do your standing medium, crouching heavy auto combo, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot into mine, and then once again, medium, crouching heavy auto combo, first 2 hits, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, slight delay for the EX gunshot, EX, wait for it to recover, and you'll go for another EX. So, if you have done everything correctly, you should have something that kind of looks like this. And that is what you guys should get. Let's go ahead and move into our next combo. So the next combo that we're going to talk about is how to combo with Mastodon Sentry in the corner. There is a special combo that I do have for this. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So let's go ahead and get started with this corner combo. So as you saw, we're going to do our crouching light, crouching medium, first 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo. This time we did neutral special into your mine, just forward with special. This actually does combo. If you try and do this from your crouching heavy, it doesn't combo, but from your neutral special, it actually does combo. After you get them up into the air, you will then do medium, first 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot into the mine. You'll then be able to recover, do a standing medium into heavy for the ground bounce, and then into launcher. So this first part should look a little something like this. Now, after you do that first launcher, there'll be a slight delay before you jump, because you don't want to jump too soon, because then your gunshots will whiff, but you still want to make sure you have the height in order to get the second launcher. So there's a slight delay there. And then as you saw, you'll jump up and do air light into air special, air heavy, do another launcher into air light into air special, air heavy. You'll then come back down to the ground and then do your standing medium, first 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot into your mine. And then here's where the tricky part of the combo kind of starts, if you didn't think that that was particularly tricky. And it's doing your link from your crouching light into your standing medium against a juggled opponent. So you'll get standing medium, crouching light, standing medium, crouching light, standing medium, crouching light, standing medium into 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot into EX gunshot. After you recover, you will then do another EX. The perfect way to set this up is just by doing mine. If you want to practice the whole combo going into it, you can, but you can also set this up just from mine. You want them to be about that high. And you'll get that height after doing launcher. Oh, hold on a second, I had a brain fart. You'll get this height from this. About right there. That's kind of what you want right there if you want to practice that entire part. But you can also get this from mine as well. It's the perfect way to practice it in the corner. Now, as far as the timing for this, Mastodon's Sentry's recovery from his standing medium takes a little bit longer than you would think in order to get that crouching light. Just trust the recovery time. It's really all about the height. As long as they're at the right height, you'll be able to get it. Trust the recovery time. Crouching light, standing medium. Crouching light, standing medium. Crouching light, standing medium. 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, EX gunshot, recover, EX. You should be able to get it. So you can practice it from this. And that's the perfect way to practice it. And it's really the most difficult part that you have to practice for this combo. So, once again, if you're able to do the entire combo, in the corner you should have something that looks like this. And that's what you guys should get. Let's go ahead and move into our next combo. I think we're going to talk about how to combo from throw now. So let's go ahead and start breaking down this combo. So of course we did throw. Puts him in a hard knockdown state. We run over. We do heavy for the OTG into launcher. We do a slight delay with our jump and then do air light medium. Just like that. We want that height. So we can jump back up and do air light special heavy. And make sure that we hit our second launcher as soon as we get back down to the ground. We need to hit that launcher, really quick once we get on the ground. But once again, that's what the height from your first launcher and doing the air light medium as quick as we do, that's what that's for. And you guys may notice with all these combos so far, there are a lot of similarities as far as the things that you need to practice. Getting that height. And then of course, doing our standing medium. First 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, into bomb. But unlike the other ones, we can only do that once before we start doing our loops of the medium, crouching light medium, crouching light medium, crouching light medium. But we do have enough time in this situation, since we only did 1 rep, in order to do another series of crouching heavy auto combo first 2 hits before we go 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot into EX gunshot, and then going into EX. That's only the real difference about this part of the combo. But if you're able to do those first 2 combos, then you should be able to do this one, because a lot of Mastodon Sentry's combo conversions, you're going to have to be doing these same things. So you notice those similarities as far as like what to practice. If you can get all those, then you can get this combo and the rest of the combos that I'll be showing you in this video. So once again, if you've done everything correctly, you should have something that kind of looks like this.
Protect you all.
And that's what you guys should get. Alright, for this next combo, we're going to talk about how to combo from EX Gunshot. Next to throw, this is the thing that you'll be comboing from the most. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So, as you guys can see, that is a full screen conversion off of EX Gunshot. That is one of the things that makes Mastodon Sentry so scary. At any point in the projectile war, if he sees that he hits with his guns and he has the meter, he can tap EX Gunshot and get a full screen conversion. But as you guys can see, all of the things that we practiced from previous combos show up here. So getting our second launcher from our launcher state, making sure we get that. Making sure that we're doing our links and subsequently our loops from medium, crouching light medium, like, that whole thing. The only thing that's new here is making sure from full screen that you dash up at the right time after he recovers from EX Gunshot. which is not particularly hard to do, but just making sure to dash up, that's the only part that's different that you have to get used to with this. But if you're able to do all those things, then everything you practice from the previous combos will work, and you'll be able to get this combo. If you need to reference those, then you can go back and reference those combos. But once again, if you have done everything correctly, you should have something that kind of looks like this. And that's what you guys should get. Let's go ahead and move on to our next combo. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to combo from back gunshot. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So, as you guys can see, very similar to the other combos that we've done. This is pretty much the exact same combo that we actually did from throw. The only difference in this situation is that after you do back gunshot, there's a slight delay before you go EX. Other than that, it's the same combo that we did from throw. We only do 1 rep of medium into first 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo, into 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, into mine, before we start doing our loops of medium, crouching like standing medium, crouching like standing medium, crouching like standing medium, first 2 hits of heavy auto combo, 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, EX, and then into another EX from there. So, once again, if you've done everything correctly, you should have something that kind of looks like this.
May the power protect you all.
And that's what you guys should get. Let's go ahead and move on to our next combo. Alright, so the final combo that I'm going to be showing you guys is how to combo from super. Yes, you can combo from super in very specific situations if you are in the corner, because it does lead to a hard knockdown state, so we can go into our heavy OTG and just combo from there. So let's go ahead and get started with that.
On my mark.
So, did you guys notice any similarities between this combo and the other combos that we did? If you've practiced all the other stuff that we've done in the previous combos, then you can definitely do this combo. The only difference between this combo and the other ones is the fact that after we do launcher, we just go straight into our air light special heavy. The reason why we do this is because if we do the extra air light medium, then we will have too many hits for the later part of the combo. So we do launcher into air light special heavy. We do another relaunch into the same thing. We do 1 rep of bomb loops, so medium, first 2 hits of crouching heavy auto combo. 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot into mine. Then we do our medium, crouching light standing medium loops, so medium, crouching light standing medium, crouching light standing medium, crouching light standing medium into the first 2 hits of heavy auto combo. 1 gunshot, 2 gunshot, EX gunshot, and then into EX. All the stuff that we've practiced in previous combos, if you can do that, you can do this combo. That's the only part that is different. Once again, it's just doing this. That's the only part that's different. So, once again, if you are able to do this combo, you should have something that kind of looks like this.
On my mark.
And that's what you guys should get. And that's going to do it for all the combos that we're going to be doing with Mastodon Sentry today. now that we're done going over combos with Mastodon Sentry, let's go ahead and start talking about his game plan. And if you haven't figured it out by now, Mastodon Sentry is Dude with Gun. And as Dude with Gun, your main objective is going to be controlling the screen with your long-range projectiles. Mastodon Sentry, the main thing you want to keep in mind with him is you never really want to do this option right here unless you have meter, just because when you don't, if you do it, he stays in recovery for so long that he's really susceptible to being punished. But you can also use that to your advantage when you do have meter, because if your opponent thinks they can punish you, you can just boom, EX gunshot like out of nowhere and go for full combo, as you've seen me do throughout the combo tutorials. The main thing with any long range owner is mixing up what projectiles you're using, your timings, and how many shots you're doing. Sometimes you just want to do 2 shots and a bat gunshot, 2 gunshots and a mine, and it's all about just frustrating your opponent, letting them slip up and capitalizing on their mistakes. That's what zoners do. That's what they're supposed to do. You can do that in the air with your heavy and special gunshots, which are awesome because this gives Mastodon Sentry a way to approach without committing, where other characters would have to jump in with normals and are susceptible to being anti-aired. Mastodon Sentry doesn't have to deal with that. He can really alter how he jumps in with this, combining that with his cross-up. And you can also do something like this in order to go for grabs as well. So those are some other things to keep in mind. If Mastodon Sentry wants to go in, he can. But he can also play a very patient game, win the projectile war, and get full screen conversions, off of his heavy, as you saw me do during the combo tutorials. So those were a couple of things to keep in mind. But just because Mastodon Sentry is primarily a long-range hitter doesn't mean that he can't get in there and mix it up. Mostly because of his overhead. This is really the only normal that you're going to be using outside of your cross-up Air Light. Air Light, just because the nature of how fast it is, can beat out a lot of things. And not only with the overhead do you have to worry about mix, you can do like crouching medium and descending heavy for high-low mix, but you can also combine that with your assist in order to set up hard to blockables or unblockable situations. So this makes Mastodon Sentry a very versatile character. Contrary to popular belief, even though Mastodon Sentry is a zoner, which would kind of make you think that you could put him on point and do like a zone-focused team, Mastodon Sentry I actually think is a all-rounder style character. He's got the tools for mix, he's got a good assist, he's got good conversions, good damage. The only thing he's really lacking is like a true meter dump. His super is easily his weak point, in addition to kind of like his stubby buttons. It makes it difficult for him to counterpoke in those situations when he is being pressured. And for super, if you want to do something that risky, you could just do EX. You might still die, but at least you won't waste all that meter. But the super is hype, I can't lie. So, if you guys are mixing up your timing with your projectiles, capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes, and utilizing his overhead for mix-up and unblockable situations, I really think you'll be doing a great job of Mastodon Sentry. You can put him anywhere on a team and he will do fantastic. And that'll do it for this combo tutorial featuring Mastodon Sentry. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, consider checking out my social media links in the description. And one new thing that I might try in this video is I think I'm going to put my Cash App in the description as well. For those of you who aren't feeling Patreon, just because Patreon hasn't really been catching a lot of steam, if you just want to do like a one-time thing, send me $1, something like that. Any amount will help in terms of me bringing you guys future awesome content. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back at you later with future videos. This is ParkerLad, and I will see you guys next time.